Hello, my name is Mars, and welcome back to I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. We're in the middle of a famine, as you can see by this starving moodlet, and Solana is doing jack all to help. She's just working and studying and all that stuff she normally does. If I had a job as a farmer, I could probably help out a little bit, but I don't know. I have too many jobs already. Cal, what do you like? What kind of stuff do you like? Cal is listlessly kicking a sports ball around. This is kid stuff, he says, eventually just kicking it into the garden. Sports is just like war games for kids, you know? Winners and losers and thinking like your team is the best and everyone else sucks? He shrugs. I just like doing important stuff now, is all. I get you, Cal. I am a terminally uncompetitive person. I mean, I like playing competitive games. I just don't really care that much whether I win or lose, you know? Some people care a lot. They get all pissy when they lose, and it's just like, who cares? It's not real. It's not like this is an actual war and our country is gonna collapse now. It's a board game. Alright. Let's try and figure out what you like, Cal. Do you like bobber fruit? I feel like you would like bobber fruit. Food! Cal grabs the fruit out of your hands, then remembers his manners. He gives you a big hug. Thanks, Solana. I'm starving. How did you know? Hell yeah. But we didn't give it to you on your birthday. That would have gotten us 4, as we learned with Anemone last time. Yay, I'm so glad we figured out what Cal likes. And let's continue trying to level up our friendship with Cal. And do some research. You go to grab a wheelbarrow from the barn where Cal keeps his pet dilly pillar and find Cal standing over her empty trunk. Socks is nowhere to be seen. What happened to Socks? Cal sniffles and wipes his face before turning to you. She's gone, he mumbles. I came in to see if she would eat some cornbread and she's just gone. Look, there's a hole in her box and everything, he says, gesturing to the trunk. Sure enough, it looks like Socks must have chewed her way out. Cal is on the verge of tears again. She doesn't know how to survive on her own, he wails. What if she starves? What if something's eating her? What if something eats her? What if she's scared? It wasn't safe for her here. She was getting really big, Cal mumbles, rubbing his eyes. She was probably going to get found anyway. He closes the lid of the box and rests his head against it. I'm so sorry, little girl, he whispers. I tried. I really did. I'll miss you so much. Thus ends the saga of Socks. I'm sorry, bud. I know that there are actual pets that you can get in this game eventually, but I don't know when that starts. First collectible use is free. I love that. But I see no reason to use any of these. Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is this not all one big straight? I think so. Plus 10 for straight of 5. Yeah! Awesome. Hell yeah. Hey, more collectibles perk. Collectibles respawn faster and more slots are filled. Sweet. Let's see. We don't have enough biology yet to get another card out of Cal, but it's time for Vertumnalia, the yearly midsummer celebration when the colony gives thanks for its good fortune. During a famine. Well, it would be. But as you file into the main square, you can't help but notice that the feast table is nearly empty. What Anne lacked in resources, she made up with care. The dishes are lovingly plated, soy cakes glisten, steam rises from buns stuffed with mince, and there are great pitchers of vegetable broth rendered out from even the most inedible food scraps. There's a neat stack of sugar cubes for dessert. Whole sugar, what a luxury. In an underwhelming feast, that'll be the highlight. Governor Udicott's welcoming speech this year is short. Her frail body trembles as she welcomes you all to Vertumnalia with a dry, whispery voice, then has to be helped off stage. Like all of you, she has been feeling the effects of the famine. Everyone clears away the chairs for the annual competition. Which do you participate in this year? Hell no, participation is for joiners. I'll do the science fair again, damn. Tang has reworked her project from last year. You remember it. Something terribly complicated about cell differentiation in vertumnant species, plant, animal, and fungus alike. She melted down when Dr. Instance pressed her on something, but this year she's all business. Back and better than ever. She has not only corrected her error, but added a ton more complexity and depth to her analysis. Instance listens intently and congratulates her on a marvelous comeback. You're up next. Yeah, I love these challenges. They're a lot of fun. Okay. 5 kudos of total equals goal. Fat chance of that happening. Okay. I think that's as good as I can do. Let's see. Huh. Let's see, I can get, 4 of a kind with 3s. Okay, that's pretty good. Um, 17. Alright. We can lose a kudos, that's no big deal. That's enough to win. Can we reach the super goal? Yes, you can. Oh, this is a whole straight. Sweet! Ho ho, and we got the best score out of that. You've been studying the yearly attacks. They only happen during glow, but why? You've been graphing and analyzing surveyor data on the animals, and discovers the attacks don't correlate with natural behavior or migration patterns. You thought at first that the wormhole might agitate them. It does put off low-frequency waves during glow that haven't yet been fully studied. So a year ago, you started monitoring the waves, and realized that there were actually 2 waveforms, one from the wormhole, and a weaker one based somewhere on the planet. During glow, when the vibrations from the wormhole are present, it seems to activate something in the planet's frequency, making it stronger and more complex. These frequencies run right through the colony like targeted beams, drawing animal migrations closer. It's almost as if something is summoning the animals. Goodness. Yes, more colony defense. Hell yes. We're gonna save the colony with our smarts, I think. I think that's what's gonna happen. The judges are amazed. This is a huge breakthrough, and all happened just because you wanted to win a science fair. You have a lot of work to do to be able to use this theory for forecasting the next attack, but Rhett is excited to study this further. You win the science fair, hands down. Yes. After the festivities, the whole colony takes a few days off for a break. Well, except for geoponics. And the foragers. And the kitchens. And everyone who uses the break from their usual work to help out in the places that didn't close. Okay, it's not really a break, but you try to take it easy anyway. We are feeling fine. Feeling fine indeed. New perk. More collectibles. Let's see if there are any hanging out here. Please. Oh, Tang wants to talk to us. You spot Tang sitting on a large boulder outside the lab. She's eating a pressed soy bar ration with determination, alternating bites with huge gulps of water to wash it down as quickly as possible. What are you doing out here? She stops her grim work long enough to acknowledge your question. I hit the limit on the number of consecutive hours they allow me to work in the lab, she says. So I'm taking a break, she says, making mocking air quotes around the sentence. Maybe they're right. Oh, she doesn't like that. Tang scowls and takes a huge bite of her protein bar, radiating defiance as she chews. They just think they can boss me around because I'm younger, she says, and takes a huge swig of water. Our friendship's still doing pretty good. She scoffs. I'm smarter than any two of them combined. Ugh. Tang groans and rubs her bloodshot eyes. I just want to work, you know? It's so frustrating to be deep in the zone and feeling like I'm just on the precipice of a discovery, and then someone tells me that apparently my genius has taken too long. I want them to treat me like I belong here, the way Dr. Instance does, Tang mutters. She actually respects me. They're just jealous that she likes me more. Tang slides off the boulder, and you see the color bleed from her face as she stumbles onto you, nearly crumpling to the ground. Oh, she grits out, leaning over while the dizziness passes. I thought the nutritional uptake of that bar would be quicker than a real meal, especially after taking into account the time required to walk to the cafeteria. She trails off, realizing she's clutching her jacket, and pushes you away. My apologies, she says, brushing herself off. I am, regrettably it seems, only human. Tang scrubs her hands over her face. Ugh. Sometimes it feels like I'm a prisoner in my own body, like I can feel myself trapped in it. This stinking, sweating bag of meat and bad impulses, stuck with the burden of keeping it alive every day for the rest of my life, and her voice breaks. Tang, wait, are you crying? Tang scowls and wipes her eyes angrily. Reflexive lacrimation is an evolutionary response to emotional and physical stress, she snaps. In other words, no, I'm not crying. It's just this resentment for my physical form. It reminds me of when I was little and Instance used the gene tech to give me this body. The right body. Only this body's wrong too, she adds quietly. It's right in a lot of ways, but it's still imperfect. It's still human. Are you gonna turn yourself into a computer? I don't want her story to end like that, come on. If I were an AI, everything would be more simple. I could just do my work, I could just do what I'm good at. No messy biological functions, no emotions, just clear and beautiful purpose. I hate this, Tang sniffles. I hate feeling like this. I mean this in a flirty way and also in a sincere way. There is nothing wrong with being human. I think you're beautiful the way you are. Tang scowls. How nice for you, she sneers. You're right. People finding me attractive makes everything all better. Never mind. I wouldn't expect you to understand the pain of being trapped in your own body. Tangents focus 2. Plus 6 if this card of 2 has the highest value. Damn. Upgraded memory. Oh, so this is the same one I had before. She wipes her eyes and straightens her jacket, then takes a deep breath and holds it for 10 seconds. Her eyes close. By the time she opens them again, she looks ready to go back to work, as if nothing has happened. You admire Tangent's determination, but sometimes you think it might come at a price. Devoted to helping... Oh! She's very stoic. She's more intelligent than silly. Okay. So she's got stats too. Her rebellion and loyalty is in the middle. She's more stoic than humorous. And she's more intelligent than silly. Huh. Okay. I do feel like maybe Tang doesn't want to be romanced. Maybe it's one of those deals. Or maybe that was just a single bad option. Alright. We're clear-minded, popular, no stress. What do we want to do with that? Let's tutor. Actually, no. Cal, how about we hang out? Your work often overlaps with Tangent's work in the biochemistry and genetics lab. Oh, hey, Tangent. I wanted to see Cal and get away from you for a little bit because I made you angry, but okay. It's not uncommon for her to pop by and ask questions about what you're working on, or for you to ask her for help interpreting from test results. She is uncharacteristically animated whenever she gets to talk about science, almost like she's a whole different person. She even laughs sometimes. Don't you think it's so interesting how vertumnant species resist being classified by any known taxonomy? She asked, peering into the root network you've sandwiched between pieces of clear glass. She stands up. It feels like everything is a little bit fungal, she says. Spores, fruiting bodies, mycelial networks, even in animals. Well, we're more into the plants, so some plants here can walk. She nods excitedly. The division between plant, animal, and fungus is less strict here than it was on Earth. At the cellular level, many animal species have properties of plants and vice versa. She launches into an explanation of how high-energy bonds store energy and require a metal catalyst, like iron in human blood and chlorophyll in green earth plants. But how the different hues of vertumnant plants must mean they use an entirely unknown elemental catalyst, possibly not even a metal at all. It's a little advanced for you, but Tang is very excited about it. She stops and takes a breath, winded by her own monologue. Zounds, Solana, if vertumnant plants and animals share an elemental catalyst, and we find out what it is, we could learn so much about this planet. Let's not try and flirt again. Help advance your theory. No. Come on. You show Tangent what you've been working on. All the samples and simulations, the results of scans and experiments. Incredible, Tangent says, going over your notes. We've been attempting to map the genomes of various samples in order to construct a phylogenetic tree, but we're at capacity already. Can I take this? Of course. Tangent smiles. Thank you, Solana. This is more helpful than I can say. Helps Tangent. Yes, we're gonna help her save the colony. Chief Engineer Instance forwards you some kudos for sharing your research. Sweet. Alright. Okay, so this counts as a 5. Hell yes. Okay. And then we'll do this. Yes! I'm so good at this. How is our biology? 71. Anyone want to talk to me? Any collectibles? No. Man, let's continue with xenobotany. I'm really into this. It feels like we're doing a lot to help the colony with this. Eventually we're gonna max out organizing and come pretty close to maxing out biology too, but ooh, I feel like I'm helping. It feels good. No matter what you do, you can't get water from a stone. There's no way to genetically engineer the food you already have to make it magically more nutritious. Maybe if you had more time, maybe if you got out there with the foragers and actually brought back more food to study, you may be able to make a difference. Well, I can't do that. I'm not strong enough. Oh, come on. Alright. +1 to mental cards. I'm gonna redraw my hand. Yes. There we go. Much better. Ooh. Oh, 2, 3. Oh, yes. Incredible. Haha, yeah. Okay, our biology's still getting up there. Early wet, alright. This is supposed to be when the food is supposed to run out, so let's see what happens. Hey, Cal! You catch Cal at the gate to the gardens. He's carrying a big bucket of rocks. Hi, Solana, he exclaims. Oh, I'm supposed to tell you there's a new park near Geoponics now, Cal says. We can run around all we want, and nobody will say we're trampling the fields. You should come and play there sometime. Relax in the park in Geoponics. Sweet. I mean, I'll just see what that is. Okay, that's just another way to relax. No plus friendship with Cal? Okay. I thought that would get us friendship with Cal. Let's see. Let's tutor a bit. I feel like my social skills are lacking a bit, so. Today you're tutoring Nougat and a couple younger kids in ancient Earth geography. They're learning the names of the countries by pointing to them on maps and saying a few facts about them. It seems kind of pointless to memorize places that these kids will never see, but it's not like you can teach them much about Vertumnan geography yet. You're still discovering it. Billions of people? Nougat says, skeptically squinting at a hollow projection of Earth. How do they fit everybody into one little planet with all the trees and animals and stuff? Was it all like one big colony? 7. A 7 card. Telling a gentle tale, +2 to neighboring. +2 to neighboring social cards? Damn, that's pretty good. 7 though. Tell her the sad truth. Ooh, rebellion. You give Nougat the little kid version of the truth that you learned as a kid. You tell her life on Earth was brutal and hard. Humanity destroyed the environment and fought over what was left. There were no trees or animals left, not as many as there should have been anyway. Most people were poor, hungry, and sick, and the ones who weren't kept all the nice things for themselves. At least your parents were lucky enough to escape on the stratospheric, and you were lucky to be born on it. You're all lucky to be here now. No matter what, at least Vertumna isn't Earth. Nougat looks bewildered. She doesn't really watch holovids, only the cheerful ones for kids that don't address Earth's decline, so she had no idea. But they still had really, really tall buildings, right? To fit all the people, she asks. That was her only concern. You sigh and tell her they did, and she nods in satisfaction and goes back to her schoolwork. Alright. Well, I don't think we're going to be able to get this to be the highest value, so... Hold on. 6, 6, 5, 5, and a 3. That might have been a waste, but... oh well. Okay. Anyone want to talk to me? No, and no stuff on the ground. Okay. I mean, my main concern right now is I want to get my friendship up there with Cal, because if Tang isn't interested, then I feel like he's my next choice to romance. Research xenobotany. You've had a project going in the greenhouse lab for a few years now, splicing the genomes of plants from both Earth and Vertumna, trying to come up with a way to make Earth plants more likely to take root and flourish in the nitrogen-weak Vertumnan soil. Gene tech has always been a part of your life. Everyone you know has some sort of genetic enhancement. And some have had large-scale gene editing later in life, like Tangent's transition. You know it's possible, but your knowledge of Vertumnan genomes isn't as complete as the human genome. trick is finding exactly the right Vertumnan genes to splice into exactly the right Earth plant. So, can you do it? Will today be the day you make that breakthrough? I'll try. Oh boy. 70. Hold on. No, that's not good enough. Okay, better. Okay, I need to redraw my hand. Okay. Oh, this hand is garbage. Okay. And I'll use this. Can I get 33? Oh god. Alright, this is 8, at least. Oh, exactly! Ho ho! You double-check congruences simulations 100 times, and the results are always the same. A truly viable genome composed of genes from both Earth and Vertumna, and in every chemical simulation congruence can run, it successfully takes root and flourishes. +5 colony food! You look at the tiny, barely sprouted plants. This could be the beginning of a new era of agriculture on this planet. Being able to plant crops that actually grow strong in the soil. It might only be one plant for now, but who knows? Maybe in the future, you'll be able to use this for all sorts of crops. Oh my god! Your mom has always been a results-oriented person. She doesn't like to experiment just to see what might happen. She likes science she already knows and trusts will work. When you call her in to see what you've done, she smiles as proudly as you've ever seen her smile before. Even she can't argue with Congruence's results. You'll earn twice the kudos working in the lab from now on, in recognition to your contribution to the colony's continued survival. I'm helping! I'm helping so much! I only got +3 biology, though. Dang. Ugh. Should I do that again? Let's see, just how much will I get? 3 biology, 2 organizing, yeah, same as always. It looks like I get the same from xenobotany. But maybe it hasn't calculated the difference yet. God, I have so much money and nowhere to spend it. I'm almost 100% in organizing. That'd be pretty cool. You and your dad are hard at work in the geoponics lab, trying to find ways to squeeze more nutrition out of what you can grow here. It's a long-term solution, but everyone is starving now. You can't help but feel you'd be more helpful out in the fields. Okay, I know. Oh, so I need to... So are you telling me that I need to? That I need to be a farmer? In order to help now? Okay. Alright. Win? Yay. Alright. It's been 3 seasons of heavy food rationing, getting more and more strict as the year dragged on and the fields continued to struggle. You've been wasting away. You all have. It's not just the lack of calories. There just aren't enough vitamins and good stuff in the food you are eating. Oof. Your muscles ache all the time. Sometimes you feel strangely euphoric, filled with inexplicable energy, but often it feels like there are weights tied to your shoulders, pulling you down. You don't have the energy to do it anymore. Even the prospect of getting up to find food feels like too much effort. Better just to lie down and accept it. Despite being so tired you can't fall asleep, you spend entire days in a dazed fog. It's hard to tell dreams from reality. Last week you were brushing your teeth when you noticed that some of your teeth were wiggling. You brushed and watched all of your teeth begin to fall out of your mouth, clinking into the sink like pebbles and washing down the drain. Horrified, you started screaming, only to snap out of it and realize you'd been staring at yourself in the mirror the whole time, lost in a hallucination. Your friends stop working and retreat to their quarters. You lie to each other on the holonet, all saying you're okay, just taking it easy, waiting for the harvest. Well, the harvest came and went, as meager as ever. Your mother still hasn't given up, and never rests. Never stops working, as much as your dad begs her to. She must be sleeping in geoponics because you hardly see her in the family quarters anymore. From where you lie nestled in your bed in your cozy fugue, it all seems like far, far too much effort to bother with. I'm max stress. I need to stay in bed. You don't feel pain or fear, just a strong urge to lie there and stare at a poster of a pink cat on the wall, which you do for hours. You're pretty sure that behind those yellow disc eyes it's trying to tell you something. About the nature of the universe. The cycles of space and time. Have you been here before, or is this the first time? Your mom comes to your bedside and tries to feed you some of her rations. She looks like hell, cell-wide and gaunt, but she refuses to stop working. She says she can't keep the rations down anyway. They upset her stomach. Please, Selena, she whispers. Please, eat. No. Take the food. You struggle to choke down your mom's rations. Every bite is easier than the last. You can feel the fog lifting as you begin to regain your strength. After a week of bed rest and double rations, your head clears and you can walk again, but your mother still refuses to eat. Both of your parents feel responsible for this famine, but as head of geoponics, your mom takes it personally. She's been skipping meals, relying on water and pressed soy bar rations. Just enough calories to keep a body moving, but not enough to stay healthy. Yet she never lets up working herself to the bone, barely even sleeping, increasingly sallow-eyed and gaunt. You and your dad try to slow her down, but, well, she's a stubborn woman. If not her, she says, then who? You and your dad are in the lounge, slowly sipping your vegetable broth when there's a commotion at the doors. Someone's run in, gasping for breath, yelling for you and your father to come to geoponics. You run over, knowing deep in the pit of your stomach that something terrible has happened. When you see the faces of the agriculturalists, your mom's people, you know that feeling is real. Your dad sees your body first. Her body. He lets out a cry like something you've never heard before. A deep, unimaginable pain, dragged up from the darkest parts of where fear lives. Oh. Her crutch laying there at the side. Oh, that's the worst part. Your dad falls to his knees beside the frail body of your mother. He pulls her into his arms and sobs, wretched and agonized. You don't even know what to think. Your mom always seemed larger than her body, but seeing her now, there's nothing there, just a fragile shell. They tell you she didn't even cry out. She just went to her knees and lay down in the dirt, and that was it. She's gone. Your mother's body is taken to the incinerator room, and that night the colony gathers to pay their respects. Do you join them? Yes. Like Tammy's funeral, the incinerator room has been cleared and a wreath of flowers placed over the mouth of the organics recycler. They're white astrantia, your mother's favorite flower, carefully carried from Earth with the hopes of it flourishing on Vertumna, just like you. You stand with your father and Aunt Anne. Utica and the rest of the council are here as well, including Rhett. You're surprised to see tears rolling down his face. He's such a hard ass in the garrison. Cal is here with the other agriculturalists. The rest of the colony waits in the canteen to offer their condolences after the service. Governor Udicott gave the eulogy. As a colony, we share our blessings, she begins solemnly. However, today, in sad company, we gather to share the burden of our grief. Fluorescent was born on Earth. Oh my god. That's such a pretty name. But she more than many of us exemplified the spirit of our endeavor to bring life to beyond the stars. She bore life, not only in her body, but bringing it forth from the ground she so faithfully attended. The debt we owe to her is the kind that can never be repaid, she continues. It is with a deep and unbearable grief that we must continue on without her, in awe and respect for her sacrifice, the depth of which was never expected of her, but which she did not expect of anyone else. It is on her strong shoulders that she carries us still. Udicott closes the door to the recycler, and the particle disintegrators begin to reclaim the molecules that once formed your mother. Your father squeezes your shoulder, making a small, choked-off noise of pain. As a community, we remember Fluorescent. As a community, we return her body to the soil that nourishes us. In this way, her sacrifice is recognized in the manifest body of the colony. The ceremony is adjourned to the canteen, where a somber wake is held in your mother's memory. There isn't enough food to dull the emotions, and your empty stomach only reminds you of her unfinished work. Your father is the new head of geoponics. In a few hours, he receives your mother's remains so that he can add them to the colony's precious supply of brown soil from Earth. You touch the cool lid of the container, marveling that your mother could fit in such a small box. You don't have to be. Okay, your dad says quietly. His voice is thick with emotion. I know I'm not. I have to keep going where she left off, but if you can, you should take some time off. God, Dad, I was so sure you were going to go first. I think the game did that on purpose, emphasizing his illness, every pollen, making me think that every year with him was the last. It still could be. You know? Tragedy doesn't say, okay, I've caused one bad thing to happen and I'm just going to take a break now. And nothing bad is allowed to happen for a while. But the game had me so convinced that he was going to die, I didn't even think to consider that Mom could be next to go. Oh my god. I'm going to take the month off. My stress is high. The prospect of just going back to work like everything is normal is too much to handle. The suns dip below the horizon and glow begins. You end up spending the whole month alternating between sleeping, scrolling the holonet, and staring into space. It's restful, at least. A few days after the funeral, surveyors return with an unexpected bounty from the Valley of Vertigo. It's enough to survive for another month, until the new year maybe, if you keep rationing. The colony will continue to limp along, but without your mother. The roar wakes you. It would wake the dead. It shakes the walls, rumbles through the ship's hull, and makes your heart skip a beat. You're paralyzed by a sudden clench of fear in your gut. Through your porthole window, you hear metal screeching and people shouting. Then another roar, guttural and rumbling like the sound of a mountain collapsing. Something enormous is out there. No choice but to stay indoors. Your dad can't hide the look of fear on his face, but he tries. Sounds like we better get a move on to the assembly point. Hey, kiddo? You head for the creche together. You huddle with your buds. Mars, Dis, Cal. Because it's the middle of the night. Almost everyone was in their beds. Some people are still wearing their pajamas and sleep bonnets. Only Anemone is missing. Hey, there's the teddy bear that killed Tammy. Never really noticed it before, but there it is. The children's creche is buried deep in the belly of the stratospheric, making it one of the safest places you could be. Even so, the youngest children are scared and there's a lot of crying. I'm a teacher. I'll watch holovids with the young ones. I didn't get any empathy because I'm in mourning. Great. Somehow, even with the sirens blaring, some of the youngest drift off in your arms. After an hour, someone in the defense squad rushes in and orders everyone to leave the creche. The battle is getting close to the stratospheric. Before you can even get everyone to their feet, you feel the ship lurch and resettle at a different angle. Something is attacking the ship itself. The children scream. Some scatter in all directions, and others sit there, paralyzed with fear. Without warning, the entire wall of the creche just peels away like a tin can, letting in a rush of cold night air tinged with the ozone of plasma rifle fire. You look up and see it, up close, face to... Why are we seeing Nougat? Why are we seeing Nougat? No. It has no face. In place of a face or even a head, its body just unzips, revealing a mess of writhing pink tentacles and blinking eyes. Anemone and her brother Calm are among the security squad trying to widely divert it away from the living quarters. It smashes into the ship again and roars, calling up a terrible noise from somewhere within its seeping wet craw, and all the children scream. You have to get out of here. Bravery challenge? I have no bravery. I could do it. It's social. I don't know. Is it... Okay, it's a social challenge. Okay, I'm gonna save here. I don't do this. I don't save scum a lot. Save some scum, save scum. If I fail this, I'm if I fail this, I'm going back to the save. But I'm gonna try it. One slot will turn cards social. Okay, 70. Okay. Sweet. Okay. 8. 5. 3. Okay. I only have one of these yellow flowers. I probably shouldn't waste it now. Okay. 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 Is it better with or without this? With. Okay. I'm not gonna... I don't think I'm gonna win this. Okay. Nope, I'm not gonna be able to do it. God damn it. Ugh. Hmm. Hmm. God damn it. Okay. I don't think there's any way to... Oh my god, I did it! I did it, I did it, I did it! Oh, I turned this into a 3 of a kind. Oh, thank god. Oh! Oh! It takes a tremendous effort to keep your head. Your calm helps the children, who finally listen to you and flee the creche. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Oh! Your dad ushers you into the engineering wing, where you cower with the others, trying not to panic. All around you, metal screams and buckles, and great tremors vibrate through the ship. Finally, after what seems like hours, the noises stop. A congruent sounds all clear. Your dad checks the council bulletins on his holopalm. Oh no, he moans quietly. No, 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 no. The council calls an all-colony meeting to face the aftermath of the attack. In the oppressive gloom of below, You gather near engineering with the other survivors. It's one of the few buildings still standing. The corpse of the Faceless still sits in the caved-in wreckage of the stratospheric, spilling its flaccid pink tentacles from its horrible zipper-tooth maw. It's already beginning to stink. You can't forget what you saw. Your mind keeps replaying that terrible moment. The Faceless rearing up and obscuring the sky. Anemone and her brother looking so small before it. Governor Udicott was killed by the smaller creatures that swarmed command during the attack. In her absence, Seek addresses the colony. The Council acknowledges the bravery of the defense squad, citing the heroism in finally taking down the Faceless. If only it hadn't gotten away and stampeded right into the stratospheric. At least they stopped it before it got into engineering, as it could have activated the reactor and left a crater the size of an asteroid impact. Geoponics is gone. The greenhouse is destroyed and fields trampled. After a year of suffering, starving, and only barely scraping by, you're not just back where you started, it's even worse. Everything your mom sacrificed herself for, gone in one night. The entire front half of the stratospheric has been destroyed. The living quarters, the canteen, the garrison, the lounge, even the creche. It's all gone. It's only by some stroke of luck that people hiding in the creche weren't all killed. Seek solemnly reads the names of those who lost their lives. Too many, including Governor Udicott. You all stand for a moment of silence. You feel the weight of loss like a blow to your chest. Anemone and her family cry out when her brother Com's name is called, and their quiet sobbing continues through the silence. With the living quarters destroyed, everyone moves into the engineering wing for shelter. You're crowded into the classroom with other families. The adults try to make it seem like a sleepover, but you're all still so shaken. Anemone cries about her brother and screams at anyone who tries to comfort her. Eventually, you just ignore her grief, as painful as it is to hear her sobbing at night. You feel like you've been awake for days, and you'll never fully sleep again. You try, but you keep jerking awake, crying out in fear. Eventually, you fall asleep sitting up, held in your father's arms. Your sleep is fitful, but mercifully dreamless. Oh God. Everything's gone. Oh God. What are we supposed to do? Mars crosses her arms and sulks. What is the point of having all these kudos if I can't actually use them to, buy stuff we need? Hello, it's not like I can mail order more supplies to the wormhole. Tangent frowns. I just don't understand, she says. Why now? Why does it keep getting worse? It's been hard to talk to your dad about everything. Losing your mom, then losing the colony right after. It's too much to take. Neither of you know what to say. I know it's hard, Cal says, fiddling nervously with a tassel on his shirt. But I just think, what would your mom do right now? She wouldn't complain, that's for sure. This is here. This is examining a bit of rubble, turning it over in his hands. I wonder if we're ever gonna find, alien tech, he says. Wouldn't that be cool? Priorities, man. Oh God, the year's not turning over. I like this music. Engineering is crammed with families and what belongings they've salvaged from the destroyed living quarters. You could spend time in your crowded temporary lodging in the classroom or help the adults try to fix things. I can't do any of this. I can only mourn. That would help me forget, but my stress is all down. Rebuild. Toughness, organizing, and stress. Rebuild. The first month of quiet passes, each day plodding one after the other. You still have trouble sleeping in the classroom barracks, but there's nowhere else to go. Every day you weep with the others and try to make the best of it. Grief and anger come in waves. Not just for you, but for everyone. Some days are better than others. You're assigned to help rebuild the walls. The first part of the month is spent just dragging away the wreckage, sorting it into salvage or recycling. By the time that's done, crews disassembling parts of the stratospheric have delivered enough salvage that you can begin work patching up the walls. A sense of urgency permeates the crew. After everything, people need to feel safe. This is on the work crew with you, something he does begrudgingly. Walls didn't help the first time, he grumbles whenever anyone asks for his opinion. We should just tear them all down and live like the animals do. If someone planted a bunch of buildings on my land, I'd be pissed off too. I'm gonna work hard. By the end of the month, you've made noticeable progress. There are other priorities and not a lot of construction material, but when last year's mushwood harvest is done drying out, you'll be able to do more. Even if this is right, it didn't help the first time, it's better than nothing. Toughness, gross. One card becomes value 3. Well, I'll put this here. Okay. Sweet. Nice. The sun's finally dawn again on your birthday. You wake early and climb to the top of engineering to watch the first sun's watery rays break the horizon as the wormhole recedes across the sky. Dawn should represent hope after a long period of darkness, but this light only reveals the full extent of the damage to the colony. You've been having trouble sleeping, like most people. It's hard to find rest, crammed into the classroom with all the other kids and their families, and every time you close your eyes, you see. You shake your head to clear the memories. You pull your blanket more tightly around your shoulders. Not your blanket, that one's gone. And stare out as the sun rises on the horizon, meager and sickly. Hey kiddo, you hear. Then your dad comes and sits down beside you. I was looking for you. Nice view, huh? At least we got a rooftop patio out of the deal. He laughs a little at his own joke, then just sort of trails off with a sigh afterward. He puts his arm around your shoulders and you sit in silence for a while, watching the sunrise pick out all the broken glass littering the fields, glimmering like a field of stars. Neither of you really know what to say. It's clear your dad feels like he has to give you a pep talk, but there's an oppressive nature to the silence that makes it feel impossible for either of you to start. Eventually, he just sighs and his shoulders slump. I know things seem pretty bad right now, he says, squinting into the sunrise. It sounds like it's taking all his effort not to cry. But it'll get better. It has to, right? You're not so sure. At least your mom wasn't here to see this, he mutters. That's a silver lining, I guess. You watch the sunrise together for a few more minutes. After a bit, your dad musters up a brave smile and pulls out a little box tied with a piece of gardening twine. Happy birthday, my little rutabaga, he says. Sun medallion 2. You know what it is before you open it. Your old medallion, the one your dad made with the sun on it to represent Earth, was broken during the attack. And all the chaos you didn't even notice, but your dad did, and made you a new one. It's just like you remembered. A similar design, with a wormhole this time to represent Vertumna. You thank him and squint out at the swirling wormhole, still barely visible in the brightening sky. It's so massive and awe-inspiring this time of year, but it always seems to herald disaster. You're happy to watch it fade away into the daylight. Your dad slaps you on the back. What a birthday, huh? Here's hoping they all get better from here. You both head back downstairs to the wreckage of the canteen, where they put up temporary roofing with whatever tarps and scraps could be found. The colony nanoprinters, the few that still run, have been working day and night to replace the necessities of life, but larger construction projects are going to take some time. Aunt Anne has coaxed the kitchen nanoprinters into making soy gruel and press bars, life-sustaining but depressing. You and the other colonists eat your breakfast in stony silence as you mentally prepare for the day. Chief Administrator Seek has taken over as interim governor until the council can elect someone new. Last week they held a mass funeral for everyone who died. There's talk of turning the Stratospheric's destroyed front half into a memorial shrine after everything useful has been salvaged. There's still so much to do. Alright. I guess we're not getting the little thing to indicate that the year's turned over. That's what I was waiting for. Honestly. For, the episode to end. But God, it just didn't seem like the right place. And I guess we can't talk to Anemone because she's mourning her brother. That's real sad. Oh my God. So much has happened. So much has happened and I don't even know where to start recapping it, so I won't. I think I'll just end it here, and we'll start rebuilding next time. Until then, I have been Mars, and I will be back with more I Was a Teenage Exocolonist.